guys, minions, and welcome back to unMadeGaming. We are here in 2020 for the first stream of the year with a brand new show, a brand new season of shows, and we are here with a Monster of the Week campaign called Through the Glass. So for my end of shilling, there we go. Keith, thank you so much for that, Vanna White. So for my end of things, guys, thank you so much for being here. If you want to support the channel and all the things we do here to include charity, all kinds of fun stuff, please go do so on our Patreon. If you want to join the conversation, talk about these games, hit us up in our Discord. Links down below. And you will notice there is a bar on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. When that bar fills, our keeper, Natalie, gets to do whatever the hell she wants to us. And more importantly, all money that goes into that bar this season on this show goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing players here before you. So if you want to pay this cast, please drop some coin in your jar. Pay, toss a coin to your streamer, as it were. Don't make me sing. You'll love it. That being said, I will turn things over to Natalie to take us into this game and tell us about the world of Through the Glass.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mike. Now I've got that song stuck in my head, and that's all I want to do is sing it. But that's okay. So we are diving into the modern day. I know this is weird. We're playing a TTRPG, and we're taking place in actually the modern day, 2020. Our story takes place in the modern day bustling city of Toranna. Because, as they say, write what you know. So, and as the Canadian on this stream, I went with it. It is a metropolitan place that may or may not exist in Canada, filled with very diverse and varied people of all walks of life. Zooming in on the scope of the city, we see the lakeshore bustling with people walking through their lives, seeing skyscrapers litter through the skyline, creating iconic landmarks throughout our backdrop. It's winter right now. It's a bit of a milder one for once than most, but it's still cold enough for those who wander the streets to seek shelter. We narrow in on a Canadian common coffee chain shop called First Cup, because I'm trying to avoid any possibility of trademark issues.
Called Tom Hortons.
No, I actually decided not to use that because I think that's owned by an American now. So I got bitter and went with something only in Canada. Instead, it's First Cup as opposed to Second Cup. I think the new game is just going to be drink if you understand the reference Natalie is making. First Cup Coffee Shop, which is located on the east side of town. We zoom in even further. We've already hit the chaos meter.
I was going to say, Natalie, I love interrupting, but we did hit the chaos bar, the corruption meter.
Corruption meter.
And now you get to corrupt this entire stream, so have fun.
Remind me later to find whoever did this, and I will go hunt them down and love them. But anyway, I haven't even introduced anybody. Is this just because it's Canada? Because, for the record, that dollar is worth far more here right now. That's more like $55 actually right now, which is amazing. Anyways, so we zoom in on a coffee shop on the east side of town. It is one of those quaint little hole-in-the-walls that's just lined along some of the busy streets nearby the subway system. And we zoom in on a person who happens to be sitting by their lonesome at just kind of a circular table, minding their own business and drawing. Keith, can you please describe what your character looks like?
Why, yes. Ooh, I'll start this all off. So,
yes, you will.
Kit is a non-binary person, shadowy eye makeup, short cropped foof of a hair, dark hair, and wearing very sharply dressed in a pinstripe suit with tie and tie clip and pocket square, all matching and elaborately coordinated. Paisley, a lot of paisley tie combo on here, and highly accessorized with some non-swatch, very expensive non-swatch watch.
You make one mention of working there, and that's the end of that.
It's a Swolex.
Worse, actually.
Excellent. Now, Kit, what did your day look like? How did you decide to come to the coffee shop today? I know you're sitting there at your table. What do you eventually tell us what you're drinking? But you're sitting there and you are drawing. But how did you find your way there today? What else have you done?
Keith.
Oh, Kit.
I'm sorry.
Names are hard.
I know. They both start with K. Come on.
Yes. What was the start of my day? Was that the question?
Yeah. How did you get to the coffee shop? What in your day brought you there?
Well, I think Kit Rose in their small studio apartment that is very sparsely furnished, has a mattress, bare mattress on the floor, and almost no, furniture whatsoever. However, there are all kinds of on the single desk and across the floor scattered all kinds of expensive jewelry, necklaces, watches, earrings, all kinds of different pieces of very expensive, highly bejeweled pieces of accessories.
They just magically happen to acquire.
It just happens that way. And grabbed, in addition to all the accessories, there is a stack of nice sketchbooks and some sketching pencils, paraphernalias, and so Kit gathered those up in the morning and in a big leather portfolio walked through the depths of the city, through the very fancy. There was the really fancy, rich business neighborhood, if I recall.
There is.
Passed through there and. A few times paused and sat down on a bench and eyed those passerbys and fixated on this or that piece of sparkly jewelry, and then cut to Kit emerging in the coffee shop holding that piece of jewelry.
Oh, Kit. Oh, God. Oh, dear, darling. So you wander through your days, taking, somehow magically ending up with pieces of jewelry. But we'll talk later about what happens with this. But you find yourself in this coffee shop. Do you order anything from the coffee shop?
Oh, that is such a big question to ask a character in their first session.
I know. We're getting really deep today. I'm
also,
sorry.
What kind of coffee would you order?
Yeah, that's the question,
coffee,
right? What is it?
It could be coffee. It could be tea. You could be one of those people that goes for like a milk steamer.
It's like a chai latte.
It is a small Americano.
Okay.
With 4 shots.
Jesus.
And room for oat milk.
Because they're lactose intolerant, or?
No, because it's better for the environment.
Okay.
I low-key hate your character.
I do too.
Perfect. Excellent. So as you are there drawing, and what are you drawing?
I can't spoil that. Can't I? I'm drawing a dark shadowed, skull-headed creature. Creature.
Excellent. Now, as I like using camera angles with this, especially. So as the camera kind of pans out from Kit, it actually swerves to another corner of the coffee shop, one where it is actually watching. You can actually see both the door as well as all other patrons in this coffee shop right now. There is a gentleman sitting there almost as if he's waiting for somebody. Mike, what does your character look like?
That's me. I'm hot. That's what I look like. No, so
we're also hot.
So Levi, he has like a dirty blondish brown hair that's sort of like a lion's mane. It sort of falls down in curtains on the side of his face, kind of curly, kind of wavy. Part of it's tied up in a bun, and he's wearing a Keith amount of layers He has a button-down shirt on that's open a few pieces. He has a vest that's only buttoned on like one of the 4 buttons. He has a blazer that's rolled up for some reason, and the exterior, the button-down shirt is actually rolled up over the blazer. And he's wearing, man, let's call it like it is, Keith. He's wearing coral pants, of course, cuffed, just above the ankle, with a bold. I'm playing Keith. With a bold, like a teal or an aquamarine Chuck Taylor kind of sneaker. And you can see that underneath the rolled up sleeves, he has tattoos, sleeves down to his wrists and onto the back of his hands, and up on the chest where the button down shirt is open. He has tattoos across his chest and up to his neck around the fringes underneath his hair. And he sits there, just sort of like tapping a pen. He's not writing anything. He just has a nice looking pen. You can see some kind of like inscription on it, and he's just tapping it as if to show off the pen, and just tapping it on his cup of his venti skinny iced caramel macchiato that he is casually sipping through a straw because he doesn't actually care about turtles. And he's just sort of bemusedly watching the scene in this coffee shop.
So he is, I'm making this a point, the kind of character that drinks cold drinks in winter.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I think that tells us everything we need to know. What brought him to the coffee shop today? What was his day like?
Hubris? No, I don't know. So he, much the opposite actually of Kit, he woke up in a loft style apartment in, I assume, let me see here. I believe it's like the West Village. Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah, so like the hipstery part of town, right? That's the one. Yeah, so he lives in the West Village. However, unlike Kit, where it was very sparse, there's almost too much stuff in Levi's apartment. The concerning part is, though there is too much stuff, a lot of it's still in boxes, as if he just recently acquired all these new things. So while he is living a Spartan-esque lifestyle with just a small bed and dresser, there is an entire furnishing that is piecemeal put together out of boxes, and sort of, he doesn't know how to set it up, or, how to present it so that if anyone were to come over, it would look like a very well lived in kind of place. So he wakes up in this den of faux opulence, and kind of walks down from the western.
Faux opulence.
Yeah, he walks down from the West Village, and he sort of just struts like he owns the town as he moves towards this coffee shop. And then anyone kind of watching him, perhaps Kit, they seem very observant. He behaves sort of strangely when he's walking in. Like when he's walking down the street, he slows as when he's coming to the coffee shop, and he kind of like peers, or not quite peers, but he like leers in the window as if he's like looking for something. And you can see him like slow down and kind of like look around, and then he grabs the handle of the door and he kind of like looks behind him a few times as if he's being followed, and then walks in, and then you see him do like a weird corner check and then sit down, and then remember, and then stand up and walk to the counter and order his drink, and then sit back down.
Excellent. So we have Kit sitting there, drinking their Americano, drawing. We have Levi in the corner watching. And as he's watching, somebody else walks in through the main door. Cora, can you do me a favor and describe who walks in that door? Because it's you.
It's me.
What do people see?
Anyone that would be looking at Jules is going to see this kind of androgynous figure with close cropped, like buzzed head, big old round frame glasses, and just kind of nondescript clothing. Jules wears a black hoodie underneath of a black leather jacket, skinny jeans that are like this deep deep like emerald green color, and then like ankle length boots that have like there's silver buckles just all over the place. It's kind of like a very nice kept punkish kind of look.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what anyone would see when Jules walks through the door.
Excellent. What brought you to the coffee shop today?
Remy.
Who is Remy?
Remy is Jules' best friend, and for the last couple months, Jules doesn't really know where she's been at. Been doing an awful lot to contact her and haven't really had any response back. So just kind of looking around and seeing if there's any leads anywhere or anything, and just kind of got a weird feeling the last time that they were in this coffee shop.
Okay. That's fair. Excellent. So the day brings you back to this coffee shop where you have been before, where you've had kind of your only lead really in finding Remy before. It didn't really go anywhere. It kind of wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Nobody would give you any information, but you figure you may as well try again.
Yeah.
And then stumbling out of, I think we've decided the bathroom on this one, in the coffee shop, John, who stumbles out of the bathroom.
Yeah, so of the people in this coffee shop, Lockie is also hot, but literally, everyone else has kind of, put their coats on the chairs or hung them up by the stalls. Lockie is wearing about 4 or 5 layers. Doesn't look particularly uncomfortable in them though, and mostly doesn't seem to notice that they're wearing clothes. And then sort of goes to the counter and uses what is like the pay it forward money to get a drink. It is also an iced. I have forgotten what Mike said, but that not because Lockie not because Lockie particularly likes it, but because Lockie doesn't know what to order in a shop like this, so they've just defaulted to that. So pretty much like picture, you're in a big city. Picture the homeless person who wanders into a Starbucks and asks for the pay it forward coffee. That's Lockie, but they've got enough of like a little bit of dignity to them and a little bit of sort of, I guess, it doesn't look like the world has beaten them down just yet. Mm-hmm. But they're there, and then they sort of awkwardly shuffle over to one side and don't sit down and just kind of stand in the corner looking at the rest of the shop. Excellent.
And kind of all in that same moment, you notice the 4 of you in the same room together, which hasn't happened yet before, although you have all had previous interactions with each other. Jules, as you walk in, you see Kit there, sitting, drawing again. And who knows what they're drawing this time, if it's the same thing as the last time, if it's the creature that you've been searching for. You see Lockie come out of the bathroom, having been the person who talked you down previously, who somehow soothed your anger. Levi, as you watch, you see everybody. You see Lockie, who you recognize from your days at the soup kitchen. You see Kit, who you've done something to. I know. What do you guys do? Does anybody do anything?
We all see each other?
You can all see each other. It is one of those moments where suddenly the camera has opened out its entire viewpoint, and it's just the four of you in different corners of this room.
Yeah, Kit with one hand is subtly slipping the watch off of their wrist and into a pocket, and with the other hand is closing the notebook.
The Swolex.
The sketchbook. The Swolex, yeah.
Sounds like a Pokemon every time.
It really
We're going
does.
to continue.
It's the
to do so.
Swatch brand of Rolex.
Shush.
It's the Swatch of Rolexes.
Oh, God.
Levi is he's visibly uncomfortable, but in the way that you can tell someone's trying to cover up how uncomfortable they are as soon as he sees Lockie walk out of the bathroom. Because he knows who Lockie is, and he's pretty sure that Lockie will recognize him, and he's not sure that he wants that to happen just yet. So he very much does one of those things, but he's leaning towards nothing, right? Like there's nothing over here to entertain his eyesight, so he just sort of leans awkwardly and looks at the wall of Art Deco nonsense that's inside of a coffee shop, and then sips his drink, like pretending his best to be nonchalant about it.
That's fantastic because that lines up exactly with what Lockie was going to do, which was this.
Just loudly.
Oh my God. You're so precious.
And then when Levi doesn't notice them or is pretending on them, just kind of like. And then like after that is like.
He is very much trying to not gain Loki's attention any more than he has, or at least make sure no one else knows that this well-dressed man is associating with what is clearly a bum. So he's very much trying to.
This person must clearly be confused as to who I am. I have no idea who they are.
Yes.
That kind
I
of-
live in
yes.
the West Village. Excuse me. I don't have time for this.
You literally don't have time. You have no watch anymore.
Wow, rude. Rude. Okay.
Too soon? Too soon.
Too soon. It was just stolen moments ago.
I haven't bought time for this yet.
Now I just have more. I just have 6 Swolexes just in
Would you
case
say that
one
you need
misses.
a timeshare?
Don't.
Oh, and this is when everything devolves to puns, ladies and gents. It wasn't going to be the canon jokes. It's going to be the puns. Excellent. Jules, what do you do?
I'm gonna say that Jules is, if there is a table that is near Kit, Jules is going to walk over to a table and sit down near Kit and just kind of like prop themselves so that they are able to get an eye shot of Kit and anything that they might be working on, and very deliberately like kind of just side eyes Kit as they go by in the I know who the fuck you are from last time. You know who the fuck I am from last time. So if any more shit happens, I'm watching you. But you know, all nonverbal. So
Very, very nonverbal. Do you want to say you're sitting either beside them, or do you want to have like 2 different tables and you're kind of both facing each other at different tables?
I want to be sitting beside them so that I have like, if they take out their sketchbook and are sketching again, that I can be like doing that move. I'm also going to take out a book and just be like reading it while I'm sitting there.
Do you go and get a coffee?
I would say that when I first got in there, I actually go and order a vanilla tea.
Okay, excellent.
And then I go to sit down. By the way, for anyone that's curious, it's The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas.
Excellent choice. I'm so glad we have that.
Excellent.
Wonderful. So, Kit, you see Jules, this person who previously was, I'm going to let you choose the words here, but was asking you specifically about what you were drawing the last time you ran into them.
Well, look who it is. Last person I would have expected to see or wanted to see. Why I'm saying that, though. Why I'm even talking to you. I don't even want to talk to you.
Compelled
Is this
exterior
just
monologue.
just have this ongoing monologue that just happens.
Yes, and awkwardly shifts away because, I can see things that are not visible, and magical influences. Can I potentially sense that this is something happening to me in this moment? As I'm like, what? Why am I talking like this?
What do you want to roll for?
First
a
roll.
premonition?
Roll
For a premonition.
for a premonition. Okay.
Do you want?
Oh,
are
no.
you looking specifically for that? Is that what you're trying to tap into right now?
I could be. I was thinking sight, which I can see invisible things, especially spirits and
Okay.
magical influences. But
Okay. No, go
but-
sight then. Let's do sight.
okay.
Roll to determine exterior monologue.
Perfect.
Okay.
I just see
dice
it's like-
rolling.
It's like
I
that
know,
sitcom.
dice rolling for once.
You just like you have that
Oh, God.
exterior monologue, and you're like, wait, I'm
So much
I'm
better.
speaking out loud.
Where is that applause coming from?
I'm talking. This is audible.
You
I got-
rolled.
I got an 8 on my investigate a mystery.
Excellent. So for anybody who doesn't know, so we're playing Monster of the Week, which is powered by the Apocalypse. They've got their stats, they roll 2d6. That is, and everything varies on a scale. So on an 8 with your sight, what you are picking up on, so normally 7 to 9 is a mixed success, 10 and above is a complete success. So with this, you are starting to see there's nothing really that you're seeing kind of in line with jewels. There's nothing really circling them. It's hard to say why they're back here and why they're looking for you, why they're doing this, and why is your internal monologue going on the external again. Instead, you're picking up on, because you can see magical influences. There's something weird about that guy you stole magically acquired a watch from recently. In the back corner, Levi, you kind of notice that there's almost an aura about him that is weird.
Excuse me, Natalie. Please leave me alone. I'm recently too rich to deal with this. Don't direct this attention at me, please. I'm not emotionally ready for it.
I told you never to disturb me when I'm rich.
Please. How
We
dare
had a
you.
distinct no plebeian sign in here.
I come to this coffee shop for a reason. It is not to be bothered by the keeper. Whoever they may be. So Kit, you are picking up on that, which I'm gonna go with is the strongest thing. There might be some other magical influences in here, but it's harder to really discern. That one seems to be the most prevalent, which is weird. It's not jewels.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the best thing in the room. Continue.
See, that's how you make it immediately better with Mike, is just compliment him,
Yeah.
and it's fine. I know my players.
Excuse me.
Actually, I can do that with any of them, and I can get away with it.
You're not wrong. Sorry, I just had like a weird stroke thing happen just there. Don't mind that.
It's fine. She did it to me, though, so, I mean, it's established.
Excellent. So yeah, that is what you're picking up on with your sight kit.
And when you go to look at him, he's obviously trying to avoid attention from someone. Like, he's very awkwardly sitting away from people. Or turned away from people.
What are you doing with that, Kat? Where does your external monologue go?
Yeah, like, are you actually like enunciating, or are you like doing that like crazy thing where you're like kind of talking under your breath while you're doing it? So like, maybe I do hear it, but like,
Yeah, you do hear it, but it is like under their breath.
Okay.
But I think they are glancing. Kid is glancing back and forth between Jules and Levi and saying, What are you here for? Why are you following me?
well, at this point, if I hear that, Jules
say
is
you
going to kind of follow their eye line over to Levi and just is curious as first off, just acknowledging that Levi's over there, and then coming back to Kit and just kind of being like, who are you talking to?
You and your magic friend over there.
I'm magic friend. What are you talking about?
I think I point.
Very bluntly, just
Yeah.
Point to the gentleman who is trying to not gain
Trying
any
to not be
attention.
seen.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know that person. But what do you? I'm not following you. You were here the last time I was here, so I just kind of felt compelled to come back, and not because of you, but kind of because of you.
Is it about the picture?
You see Jules' face just kind of drain of color a little bit when you say that. And they respond with just a very quiet, yeah, kind of. What is that?
I don't know. It's just a thing I saw. Sometimes I see things. I just drew it. I don't know anything about it.
You saw, like, daydreamed about it, or saw it for real?
Neither, really. What do you know about it?
A couple months ago, my friend and I were out, and just this thing that you drew looks a lot like something I think I saw that night. But that whole night's kind of fuzzy, so...
No, it's real? You saw it?
I mean, well, I don't know. I think I saw something that looked like it, but I thought it was to be perfectly honest, it scared the shit out of me. I didn't really get a great look at it. And I thought it was one of those things from the zoo that got out, because it didn't look like a person. But like I said, everything's a little fuzzy, but I feel like that was very similar to what I saw that night.
Oh, I don't blame you. It would scare the shit out of me too. I mean, I would never admit that to anybody but you for some reason. I'm
At this point, Jules is actually going to get up like from their table and go and sit down at your table. So now they are across the table from you, because now we're going to have a discussion.
I
will say Levi is still looking away, but now he's leaning awkwardly as if to listen to this conversation. Like the moment he caught wind of Jules being interested in what's happening, he now all of a sudden started paying slightly more attention. So now he's sitting even more awkwardly because there's a weird lean to it.
Lockie, what are you doing during this? Because you can overhear this whole conversation.
Yep. So Lockie is not the greatest with people, but so like they can kind of listen to the conversation from anywhere in the room at this point. Mm-hmm. So kind of as soon as, because most people don't notice someone who's just kind of glued to the wall and not making any noise or drawing attention to themselves, the minute everyone's attention like focuses in on Kit and Jules and the conversation Lockie just kind of appears in Levi's blind spot. Is like, what you listening to?
Oh. I had a crick in my neck, and I was trying to work it out.
You've had a crick in your neck for approximately 45 seconds.
Yeah, well, it's I got a new mattress, and it's been rough going. So I've had a crick for the majority of the day. I thought that a walk might help, walk it out.
Didn't you get one of those mattresses with the numbers? You were bragging about that for a while.
I did, with the Tempur-Pedic and the where did you not? I've never seen you before. So it's got two sides in case there's a second person, and you can adjust each one. It's like sleeping on two clouds. Sometimes I put them on different numbers.
How did you get a crick in your neck from clouds?
I put it on different numbers, and then I slept sideways on it.
That
and
just
one
seems
was
uncomfortable.
Well, it was at first. It was fine at first, and then I woke up and it was less fine. So I like I said, I was trying to walk it out, and then I got here and I had a drink, and then I sort of was trying to twist it and then bend it at the same time to maybe that would work it out.
While sitting down?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you normally stand for those kinds of things?
I guess. I don't know. I've never...
You should try standing up.
And, okay.
And doing the thing. Mm-hmm. That will probably help.
Okay. Yeah. And totally trying to sell this ruse. He stands up, and you see him awkwardly twist and then bend over. That's... You know what? That seems like it's... I can feel it. I can feel the muscle just... And I think we're good. And I think that's it. And he just takes his drink, and while maintaining too much eye contact, he just sips through the straw. Mm-hmm.
Lockie just kind of is super deadpan for a second, and then just kind of does this. I was messing with you.
Oh.
And then sits down.
At the same table?
Have a seat at my table. And then he just slowly, awkwardly, glance over to the other table, and then back and sits in his chair. So...
Excellent. You guys are so awkward, and I love it. I ship it already. So Jules and Kit, you guys are sitting together asking about what had happened and what you've drawn. We pan back over to your table.
Yeah, I think if this is cool with you, Natalie, Kit opens the notebook to the page of the creature that they were drawing. And can I do a premonition? Maybe it's triggered by the sight of it, perhaps?
Sure.
Does that seem reasonable?
That seems perfectly reasonable.
All right. This is some Phoebe Halliwell premonition all of a sudden flashed into the future to see detailed vision of something bad that is yet to come. Yes,
so
on a 10+, a detailed vision of something bad that is yet to come, you get +1 forward to prevent it coming true and mark experience if you stop it.
I love it. Keith, what happens when Kit has a vision? What does this look like? What is Jules seeing actually from their perspective when you are triggered into a premonition by this image?
Do you make a That's So Raven face?
Maybe. I think it's definitely a appearance. It's suddenly seeing completely beyond the veil, or perhaps through the mirror. I think, maybe it's totally a mirror thing. I think would make sense. So maybe as it's opening, glancing up and seeing a vision that they get fixated on within the mirror.
So actually, I'm going to use a reflective surface in this case. So because you guys are in a coffee shop, if you've ever seen those big espresso machines that have the super shiny sides to them, you pull out your drawing pad And you're going to the image that you've drawn, that Jules is looking to see. And you kind of, before you have the chance to even finish flipping it the full way over, because you can see it right now, your eyes come to the creature and you feel this pull towards the reflection that's kind of coming off of the espresso machine right now.
Yeah, and I think I just stand up and walk like in a total crazed like sleepwalk daze, like where I'm bumping into tables and knocking people's drinks over and whatnot, and just like move right up to the machine and press my face right up against the La Marzocco lion logo right next to, since we're all about brand loyalty in this show.
We're actually sponsored by all these things.
I hope so.
Yes, only the finest in espresso machines.
Wonderful. So everybody kind of sees this kind of happen as you bump into some tables, you knock over actually even a chair, not even really noticing this, because when you have these premonitions, it definitely overtakes you. And you go right towards that reflective surface and you see clear as day. Like, this is, for the record, this is the clearest you have seen really had a premonition in a while. Even some of the loose dreams you've had over the years have never been this clear. And you can figure out why almost immediately. So what you start seeing...
It's because I'm a PC now, isn't it?
I mean, yes, but also...
Sorry.
So you see this creature, the creature that you've drawn. You see the creature, you see kind of as you've seen them before, kind of this grotesque shape. And normally in a lot of your visions, a lot of the hallucinations or bits and pieces you've caught, you don't necessarily recognize the background, which is, I think, what has made this vision so much more vivid for you this time. You can see the background, one. It's not some weird muddled mess like it has been previously. It's a lot clearer than it ever has been before. And you recognize it. You recognize it because you've been to this place before where this creature seems to be patrolling through. You recognize this as the Hestian, which is a soup kitchen in Scarberia on the northeast side of town. You recognize kind of the backdrop of just the open space with the bar counter, having been there in your past life, effectively. But you recognize it, you can see as almost this picture plays through that the creature seems to be after somebody. You follow where they're going to, and you see Jessie, the owner of Hestian, and you see it going after her, unaware of what's necessarily going on, almost as if it's creeped up from her own shadow. And you see it getting ready to strike. And that's kind of when your vision kind of clicks back and you kind of come back to realizing that you are inches from this espresso machine. The staff are starting to give you a weird look of like, but hey, Betty, are you okay? Like, it is this purple-haired girl, very clearly past Natalie, working behind the bar. And as she's just like, are you okay?
Okay, very important question. Who catches me when I almost pass out?
Does anybody go nearby Kit as this happens?
I mean, Jules would definitely have literally like followed them over to the espresso machine. Like, the moment this trance kind of like goes underway, I think that Jules' reaction is to like immediately be nervous, follow, and at the same time like be trying to get your attention, like, and simultaneously like not touch you because they're trying to ask you like if it's okay if they touch you and you're not responding. So they're just like, what's going on?
I think Kit like slumps up against you in like kind of a dazed like stupor, and then is looking kind of at the side of your face for a long moment with like glassy eyes and says, you're so beautiful.
Um,
And then snaps out of it and says, I saw it.
Hold on. Are you okay?
No.
Okay. And Jules is going to like maneuver the two of us around so that you are now like sitting on the ground. Like they have moved you to the floor. So you are now just like on the ground.
Lockie, Levi, are you guys doing anything? You're just watching this weird turn of events.
Yeah, I think like as soon as it started happening, whatever the awkward conversation was happening, he just turns and is watching this whole thing happen. Like,
Somebody get him the popcorn.
No, like both, like and like it was like the timing of it was the same. It was like conversation, boom,
yeah,
both of them just like turned.
yeah. It was like
Beautiful.
so.
Excellent.
So yeah, so once I've gotten you to like basically take a seat on the ground to like regain composure, I'm just gonna kind of like kneel down like in front of you and just kind of almost like try to like get your eyes to focus on me to kind of like, you know, bring you back in basically, and just be like, okay, are you all right? I mean, I know you said that you're not, but like, are you okay right now? Like sitting down is okay?
Yeah, this is great.
Okay.
I saw it at the Hestian.
You saw what? What the hell was that?
I'm sorry. Do you guys? If you need anything, what were you? Are you? Do I need to call somebody? I think I need to file a report.
No. Don't.
And the
don't
voice is just
call
like
anybody. Like we're just.
Are you sure?
They have low blood sugar. This happens all the time. If you'll just give us a minute, we'll move back over to the table and it'll be fine. I'm really sorry about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I have low blood sugar. I don't have low blood sugar.
Shut the fuck up.
Why did I say that? I can't hold my tongue around you.
All right. Jules is going to kind of like be frantic for a moment and then regain composure, is going to go and first is going to go to Kit and be like, is it okay if I like touch you to help you up and everything? Okay. So Jules is going to go and help Kit up and is going to basically kind of like escort them back to the table that they were just at and basically take the same seating arrangement that they had just a moment ago. So Kit's on this side of the table and Jules is on the other side, and is just going to give them like 30 seconds to just kind of catch their breath and just
Question, actually, did you leave the sketchbook open to the thing when you because it is absolutely Lucky has absolutely like reached over and taken it
Cool.
while you were gone.
The whole thing?
Yeah, just the whole thing, and it's like looking at the picture you drew.
Cool. So what I'm going to do then, Mike, especially if we can do this, is I have in roll 20 what that is going to be, and I will share that.
Oh no.
There. Show to everyone.
That's terrifying.
So everyone knows what the creature is.
What's the channel policy on swearing, by the way?
You're fine.
Fucking knew it. All right.
I also think that so while Levi is turned, right, like that's when Lockie grabs the thing, and as soon as he sees that like Jules has Kit in hand, and this scene is over, he turns around and then all of the pretense is lost, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And he's now actually engaging as if Lockie's a person again. Where'd you get that book from? What's that? What is that?
It was over on the table.
What table?
That one.
The one that they came from?
That one, yeah.
Was that was the weird one drawn that? Who drew that?
They're both weird. Which weird one?
The weird,
You're weird.
The weird fainty one. I'm fine. I'm normal. The weird fainty one.
You're wearing 6 watches.
I lost one the other day, and so I didn't want it. What if another one? It doesn't matter.
Don't lose the whatever. Okay.
I didn't lose it on purpose.
I know what that is.
What is it?
well, okay, that's not actually true. I know what things like it are.
I don't know any of the words
does
you're
that
saying.
work?
I don't know what you're saying.
How do you think?
What are things that
I
are
recognize this thing.
as
I
what?
have seen this thing before. I
In,
don't
like,
know.
in the museum?
No, like running around and.
That's not real. It
So
has
Lock-
bones on the
Lockie
outside.
has the book right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have the sketchbook? All right.
Yep.
So Jules is gonna, like, while Kid is kind of recovering, is gonna, like, notice that the book is missing and kind of take a look around, and assuming that they see that Lockie
is not hiding this at all. No, Lockie's just like,
yeah,
it is
then
on
Jules-
the table, just like looking.
Yeah.
Jules
And
is
we are
just gonna
suspiciously hunched over it.
Yep.
Yeah, Jules is just gonna beeline directly over there. I'll be right back, okay? And is gonna head over to the table. And as they're just kind of, I imagine, just kind of hovering over this book, Jules is just gonna insert their face kind of in between the two of them and be like, nice book.
Yeah, I know. It would just, and you can see that he's trying to not use your name. He found it.
And Lockie, like, pretense completely, so I just sort of was like, it is. And then, like, looks up, looks you directly in the face, is like, didn't you punch me at one point?
Oh. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Can I, what are you doing with the book?
Well, I
Looking.
took it.
Do you always take things that aren't yours when people aren't looking? Someone kind of almost just passed out. It's probably not a good idea to also try, like, taking their things.
Lockie's just
when
like,
that
I know.
happens.
Lockie's just like, I know, I saw. And then, like, matter-of-factly just continues looking at this book and is, like, almost kind of, like, tracing the skull with one finger, as if they did not just commit an act of thievery in broad daylight, looking the way they do in a coffee shop.
Yeah, I think Levi almost laughs as you ask, do you normally just steal things that don't belong to you? Like, he just, there's a stifle of...
So about the book, it belongs to them.
I know.
And okay, so then can I have it back to give to them? Why did you take it?
And Lockie just kind of arbitrarily, some number of seconds later, after a period of time that is a bit too, like, awkwardly quiet, just closes the book very very neatly and politely, sort of like, and just hands it back to you and just says, can you ask where they saw that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you want to come over to the table with me, we were just kind of discussing that before they went all. So,
Yeah, I think Kit stands up and moves close to Jules and is like holds their arm and is like, we have to do something about this. I saw this. It's gonna happen and no one else knows it. Is that my book? Did you steal my book? What the fuck?
Borrowed it.
Is that my watch?
all comes full circle, kids.
No, this is my watch.
Weird, I lost a watch just like that the other day. See, I told you, Lucky, that I mean, I told you that I lost a watch very similar to, I lost my watch the other day. That's why I have so many on.
Kid pulls the watch off their wrist and tosses it to Levi and says, well, now you found one.
Oh. And he, like, rolls up his sleeve, and you just see that there are 6 watches on, and he's, like, trying to find... I'll be honest, I can't fit any more Swolexes on this hand, so...
Swolex.
And he just kind of hands it back towards you.
Sorry.
You can have that. You can keep it.
All right.
So anyway,
So
you
you
were
guys-
saying about the monster?
Monster.
What did
What?
you see?
I mean, yeah, it's totally a monster. Look at it. It has its bones are on the outside.
You guys know about this thing?
No.
You said you saw something like it. Where?
Yeah, just a moment ago. I see things. It's
And Lucky just deadpan is like, we all see things, but like details.
I would have noticed that in a coffee shop.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Who the hell are you, by the way?
Me?
Yeah, both Levi and Lucky are like, like, wait.
Either one, whoever wants to answer. I actually don't know who you are.
I'm Levi.
Okay. And you know about this thing too, or?
Nope.
he's magic.
Nope.
Is this the person that you were talking about before that you thought was a friend of mine?
Yeah. You guys
Well, I
were
don't-
you guys were like together last time that we saw each other in this cafe.
I've actually never seen I've never seen them before ever.
All right, well, let's put all this behind us. We need to start walking.
Why? Where? What?
Because someone is going to get killed by this thing. I saw it. You just have to trust me, okay?
Okay, so number one, not going to do that. Just met you. Number two, you saw this thing, but it wasn't here because none of us saw it.
Yeah.
Or you did see it here, but none of us can see it and only you can?
Yeah, it's a premonition. It's something that will come to pass, but hasn't yet. It's happened to me before. First time I was a kid and saw my birthday cake get knocked off the table, and then it happened. I mean, not exactly the same way, but kind of the same way. And since then, sometimes I can stop things from happening like that.
So kind of like deja vu.
Yeah, except the future.
All right, I mean, I kind of get it, I guess. Well, if it's not here, then where is it?
It's at the Hessian, north side of town.
Do you know how to get there from here?
My old stomping grounds.
Kit, you would know that it would just be a simple few subway stops to get up to that area. There is an entire subway system that I have not yet renamed, and therefore I'm going to refrain from mentioning.
What
The public
what's
transit system.
the Toranna public transit.
the Toranna tube. What's
Electric Boogaloo.
what's the Hessian?
I missed what the actual business is, Natalie.
So it's a soup kitchen. It is it's a homeless shelter as well. Like it doubles as those. It's a home away from home for those people who don't have one. You would know this from a brief period of time where you spent time there. Some other people might have an idea of it.
No, they don't.
Maybe
No,
if
they
they
don't.
were ever on the streets
No, they don't, Natalie. Shut up.
and not wearing 6 watches.
No, they don't, Natalie. Shut up.
Welcome to Through the Glass.
You
where
worry
Natalie
about-
just calls out Mike for 2 hours.
You worry about your backstory, Natalie.
Sounded like a
When
sack
we
of
said-
bricks.
When we said the glass, we meant the fourth wall.
Yeah. So you said this place is in the north of the city?
Yeah, just follow me, okay?
Okay, I guess.
Look, do you want this guy to die? This Jesse. He
Girl,
took me in.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
Gender.
I don't know who Jesse is. So
Lucky this entire time has just been like giving Levi just like the "what are you talking about" look for like a minute and a half straight.
Levi is very
From, like,
obviously
slightly
avoiding.
right behind him, where like you would be if you were an angrily strumming bard in El Dorado. Like that's the distance they're at right
Yeah,
now.
he can feel like the hot breath, and he's just actively avoiding your presence, your existence.
Oh, is that mustard?
Nice.
I mean, I'm willing to go with you. Maybe whatever this thing is, it has something to do with my friend. So I, at the very least, want to talk to you more, and I don't want to run the risk that you're going to go and then I'm never going to see you. So I guess I'm in.
You know, wait, I take it back. I'm back out. Hold on. Wait a minute. This is all just too weird, and I got flustered for a second. This thing in your book, its bones are on the outside. It's got claw hands and is going to kill a person. Can we all agree this is what they said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You doodle. He looks homeless. I have 6 watches, and what is Jules going to do?
I don't know. We're just the only people that know anything about it.
So
The
how
only
are we
people
going
that can stop it.
How?
How the fuck do you know my name? I didn't introduce myself. How the fuck do you know my name? And Jules is getting like right up in your face.
You said it. Like
That's a good question.
You said it. You introduced yourself to the doodler.
Holy shit, I don't remember if I actually did that.
But like, just to make it a little awkward, Lockie just kind of leans over, and it's just like, I thought you said never to talk about the eavesdropping, and it just leans back.
I just imagine Lockie just comes into frame
Yeah, just like,
and then goes back out of
you
frame.
said not to do that.
Shh. Shut up.
And then I'm out.
Yeah,
This is also just secretly an anime at this point, okay? With how the shots are working, so.
What do you mean secretly?
Secretly?
Not secretly in the slightest.
If I don't get a fucking Hot Springs episode in this thing, I'm gonna be pissed.
We actually had one of those in one of my Cthulhu campaign.
Perfect.
I might find a way. I have.
All right, Toranna Beach episode. Let's go.
Island will be fine.
No one wears a swimsuit. It's very confusing.
Yeah, you told them your name like a little while ago.
No, they didn't.
But
Before
that's
before the freak out.
Even if that was the case, which I don't think it was, that doesn't explain how you know my name.
Because I heard it. It's a small coffee shop.
Is it a small coffee shop?
I was just assuming.
It's small-ish, like, but it'd still be difficult to, like, unless somebody's intentionally listening to your conversation.
I mean, your
Does
table
it
is like
have
right
good
there.
acoustics? Does it carry sound well?
They have open jam nights, like, every Wednesday, so, I mean, they've got some acoustics in this place.
Okay, but
your
also-
table's right there.
Also, did I actually introduce myself to Kit? I don't. No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Okay.
You did not.
I am 100% trying to bluff this.
So full of shit, the toilet's
Yeah.
jealous. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
But you had no idea.
Don't jam the
I
toilets.
don't.
I magically appear from there, okay?
It's true. Yeah, I heard it. You were talking about something about a friend, and you were asking about the book, and you asked for their name, and you said that your name was Jules, and then they started walking away and looking all weird. It just happened like a little while ago. How do you not remember that?
Jules is just going to kind of squint at you.
What?
Yeah, what's your deal, man?
I was just sitting here, man, and then like this homeless guy came up to me and was talking about stuff, and then like you were doing whatever you were doing, and now you want to go kill a monster or something. Like, what's your deal?
Kit is my Lockie, where you just like, I feel like you just pop in and you're just like, yeah, what about that?
The hype person. Woo!
As you
And you said this.
Oh my goodness. As you do leave, what are you going to do? Like that, what are you going to do about it as you guys are almost, two sides feuding at this point? This is where I've got my little random act of chaos, destruction, etc., whatever's happening.
Oh, no.
Excellent.
You hear this loud commotion come out of the storage closet. It's a good thing you weren't there, Lockie. And
Apparently.
all of a sudden, the door opens, and out scrambles this. At first, you think it might just be a rat, but it's looking a little bit different. I'm gonna share an image of what it looks like. It's actually...
I don't like the words you're using.
I don't like
bring it
rat
on, bring it on.
and different.
What rats have you seen, you monster?
Everybody can see it? They can see this
Oh,
weird
that's
creature?
cute and horrifying.
And
Love it.
about the size of a rat, and kind of comes tumbling out of, and this is, upon closer look, this isn't normal. This isn't usual. This is weird. And it scurries with, it's hard to see how many kind of legs it even has. And it scurries almost between your legs, Levi, going through Lockie's, up and over a table, down a chair, around Kit, around Jules, and starts making its way to the front door.
Here's the question. So
Lockie, this is familiar to you, Lockie.
No, I'm aware, but I just realized something. If it scuttled like past Levi and through my legs, it went through my shadow.
Yes.
Can I roll the chomp?
Sure.
Cool. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna roll the chomp.
Roll the chomp. I think that's a tough. Right?
How are you
Yeah.
jumping? How are you doing this?
It's an inflict harm.
Talk to us.
It's pretty much an inflict harm kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like a magic bullet? Is that like, are you slap chopping away?
It's a little creepy. It's a little weirder than that. Is what I'm gonna say.
That's pretty weird. So like, I'm into
I
it.
roll tough. Don't have any forward, so we're just gonna do it. It's a 9.
Oh, 9. Okay. So mixed success. You
Okay.
managed to. It does your shadow kind. What does it look like when your shadow does this? How does it normally?
So, I guess it depends on whether or not it died.
It will not.
Okay, cool. So there is, and like it's sort of still like in kind of tucked away under the table at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So there is, if you're paying attention, there is like a little quick flicker around the edges of Lockie's shadow, and it looks like the shadow kind of like surges in a direction for a second in the shadow, like matching the shadow of the thing scuttling over it, and there's just like a as like a little piece of it just gets sort of bitten.
Yeah. There's a shriek that kind of comes out of it too, and while I was told to throw something weird in here. We get weird. And while it does get away from you, you get kind of like the tail of it.
Yep.
And as you see it continue its scuttle pattern out the door, you see this weird trail of green ichor almost out of it. As it pushes its way out through the door, the bell at that door ringing on its way out, and it just books it.
Lucky just kind of like looks down to where the tail is sort of slowly sinking into their shadow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and then sort of looks in the direction of the ichor trail out the door.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are those things?
What the fuck was that?
Those weren't rats.
Yeah, no shit.
Fine.
And Lucky just kind of like gets up and is like, excuse me, and then just walks out the door.
Where are you going? Huh?
Shit. Should we follow him?
Did he chop that?
We should follow him.
What? All right. You know what? There's a lot of questions, and I think we're gonna answer them later.
Who has my book at this point?
It's just on the table, I think.
It's on the table. Lucky just
Yeah.
like put it down and sort of yeet out the door.
Yeah, I scoop up the book and put it in my fancy leather portfolio and tuck it under my arm, and then walk out behind Lakey.
And I think like Levi like opens the door while you're grabbing the book, and he looks after Lockie and kind of, Lockie, wait. And then he like realizes he uses the name, and then he like, wait, we're coming.
Where'd you learn that name? and
He
pushes
was,
Levi.
He was sitting at my table. We were talking about. Shut up. Doodle your shit. He like holds the door for Jules.
Jules is gonna walk past him, but kind of like nudge into him as they go by.
Why is it?
Barista, as you guys all leave. Have a nice day. Oh God, what is that I have to clean up? As you close the door.
Hey, did we pay?
You would have paid at the start of this.
Cool. Just making sure. Look, I don't know. Different places are run differently.
It's
so.
true. No, you guys would have paid when you got your coffees.
Cool. So we're not
Did not pull a
big
dime
shit
dash.
hills. Got it. Not yet.
You'll be welcomed back at this coffee shop maybe later. As opposed to chased out of it. No, maybe not again. Thank God it's a chain. So Lockie, you're going after this kind of creature, correct?
Yep. Like not particularly quickly, just kind of like a couple paces behind it.
Cool. It's scuttling, but it continues its way towards the subway station.
Let's go. Let's go.
The subway station is a direct direction of plot. Weird, Natalie.
Weird how that happened.
Wow, what?
The northbound subway station?
Lockie follows the ichor green colored plot thread.
What is this? What is this?
I'm having some
looks like a plot thread. Let me just go ahead and talk on that.
I'm having some well-behaved chaos tonight, okay, fam? What do you want from my life?
Why is there a big exclamation point above the subway?
Isn't that?
It's green. I thought that means I finished the side quest already.
It's a daily. You do it over and over again.
So Lucky follows it down, and then if it goes through like the turnstile,
It goes to the turnstile, yeah.
Lucky just stops
At the turnstiles, okay.
at the turnstile.
Everybody else.
And is keeping an eye on it, like where it goes afterwards from there.
You see it kind of, so you notice that when you get to the subway station, there's the turnstiles where you normally have to pay. They've got the collector booths. And when you go in there, you see there's two signs. There's north and south. So you can go either way. It is going down towards the northbound.
Lucky just sits there waiting.
Everybody else, you manage to, it doesn't take you long, but you catch up. You enter into the subway station and you see Lockie just waiting in front of the turnstiles, no longer moving.
What is he doing?
You need me to buzz you in?
Did it disappear? What happened?
No, that would be nice if you could.
I swipe my card.
Did Lockie simultaneously answer both Jules and Kit in one go? Like, no, but thank you if you could. And it's just like, wait, who was that directed to?
Yep.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Both. All of the above.
You can swipe your Metro Pass. Yep.
Yep.
And
Lucky just sort of like pushes the turnstile forward a little bit, kind of wiggles it a bit, like, huh, and then walks through it.
That's how they work.
Lockie has no idea. It's great.
So we're just going.
Yeah. Also, and as a note, once Lucky has gotten through this turnstile, they just turn around and they go, "Thank you," and then they keep going and like beeline directly down to the northbound platform. They like it was like, "Thank you," ignores you exist. Goodbye.
Like you hit a puzzle and you're like, "Shit, I didn't trade in this stat."
Stopped me.
Yeah.
How do I make the smiley face? How?
Yep.
Excellent.
After him.
Okay.
Jules is just gonna hop the turnstile.
Yeah. I think Levi does the same. Like he walks up to Kit, and then like at least the subway's near me. There's like a cage around it, and he like grabs the cage and just lifts himself over it, like over the turnstile with practiced precision, and just sort of hops over it and then continues. After
The minute like both of their shoes hit the ground, Lucky turns, like sees them doing this, files that under a way of life lessons they definitely should not have learned, and then keeps going. Like, oh, I could just do that now. Okay.
No, Kit definitely pays and then strides coolly into the subway.
I like that Kit has paid for two people, has paid for half the group to get through to the subway system.
Yes, and
Both of the high people have been paid for.
Pauses at the machine to refill with like a huge wad of cash.
All quarters. All quarters.
All singles.
Wrinkly ones.
Nice.
No, we have loonies.
No, like
oh, that's right.
It's just
Yeah.
loonies all
duties. How do you take an economic crisis seriously?
It's gonna be great.
No, I think they're all straight. They're all like fresh minted hundreds.
That's not sketchy at all.
Freshly laundered.
Of the three people, of like the four people who have gone through this turnstile, the one with the freshly laundered hundreds is very clearly like, if you were transit police, it's like weird homeless person, got someone to pay for them. All right, turnstile jumper, clearly money laundering.
Criminal.
There's a lot of questions about this group. Okay.
You encouraged it.
I really did. As you guys all kind of make your way down the stairway, getting down to the subway, you catch up to this little creature that's kind of just like sitting there, waiting, like as if it's almost waiting for the subway to show up. And it does about a moment later, as soon as everybody else makes their way down there. But it's like it's patiently waiting. What do you can catch up to it without issue, Lockie, because you went and beelined it right down there.
Lockie just kind of like stands with their hands in their pockets, like kind of a foot and a half diagonally behind this like unusual rat, and is just kind of chilling there. And then like if the rat notices them, just kind of leans over like, sorry, and then leans back.
Jules is just gonna kind of be behind Lockie doing the old Scooby-Doo, just like poking their head around and being like, just looking at it, wondering what the hell's happening, but not getting any closer. Just.
Is anybody watching the creature?
Yeah, Lockie
looking
is.
at it, yeah.
Are you talking to a rat?
That's not a rat. And Lockie like offers no explanation other than that's not a rat, and then stops.
Definitely not a fucking rat.
Are you talking to it?
I'm gonna charge up some lucky magic over here with my jinx to get some hold.
Okay. So what exactly are you trying to do?
No, I'm just gonna get some hold and then use it when it's necessary.
Excellent.
Oh
goodness.
Yeah, on a 7 and 9 hold 1, and then I can spend it to like interfere with lucky stuff.
Excellent.
So I'm just like
You're
intently focused on this situation. Yeah.
You're mentally preparing a bit because you also kind of know that you're still heading towards what you've seen. As you guys have, okay, so there were the four of you are all looking at this little creature, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you're kind of waiting for the subway train, and as it's about to pull, the train is starting to pull into the station. You notice actually, so the little creature had lost its little tail, and it is slowly starting to grow back.
Oh, what the fuck?
Why are you this way?
As the subway train pulls into the station, doors open, it just scuttles onto the train and gets almost oddly, precariously, goes up and then sits on a seat.
Guys, I don't think that's a rat.
I thought we established that it wasn't a rat, and then Jules is just gonna start to like kind of push past Lockie, but like stop short and like look back and be like, do we need to go after this thing?
Lockie doesn't say anything, but just kind of like, so on the list of weird things in the subway that you're going to see today is like a definitely not rat sitting on the seat like a person, and Lockie sort of crouched over in front of it, like arms on their knees, kind of like squatting down, kind of looking it in the eyes on the floor, just kind of staring at the rat, just being like, I'm sorry, don't step in the shadow next time. It's a lot better that way.
So does everybody follow onto the subway car before the doors close?
I would assume that as soon as Lockie goes on, that Jules will follow.
I could just leave. You know, it would be over.
Jules is going to reach over and kind of grab any collar that you have and just make sure that you don't wander off.
Here I am.
And as you do that, the ding, 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 and the doors close. As you see Lockie start to have his conversation with this little creature that almost starts to make squeaky noises back at it.
Are you talking to the rat?
I don't know. Am I talking to the rat?
have no idea what it's saying.
Cool.
Jules, who is still holding onto your collar, is going to pull you close and be like, for the last goddamn time, it's not a rat.
What do you want to call it?
I don't know, but it's not a rat.
So
So
rat
stop
it is.
assuming that it's a rat. Oh my God. And let's go. Your collar and kind of shoves you away.
The subway train will take you guys, it's about 10 or so minutes that you take riding on it northbound, getting out to Scarberia, which is, you're already on the east side, so it's taking you, you're still keeping on the east and going just further north. Scarberia is, for anybody from my area, very, very based on Scarborough. And
Do you mean Toranna?
That's great. And it is not the nicest place. If anybody's from Scarborough watching this, I'm so sorry.
I'm actually airing this exclusively in Canada.
Thank God. Love it. Love that for us. So excited. And
For reasons.
Scarberia is kind of just like, you don't go there unless you have to go there. You don't live there unless you have to. It is kind of sketchy, kind of scummy, kind of just, in general, the dirtier part of the city. It is not, it's really not a place you want to go to, ever. But that's also why the Hestian had set up there, and therefore to be able to help a lot of people that are out that way. And so, because that, unfortunately, the homeless people are probably a little bit more rampant there. And so you guys take about 10 minutes. You don't really get any further in the conversation with the non-rat creature. You guys ever figure out a name for it by all means?
It's a rat.
I mean, it looks like a combination of a rat and a horseshoe crab to me.
I think Chad has named it Steve, so that's what I'm going with.
Steve.
Excellent.
I hate everything.
Donations get this group pets that may or may not eventually get killed. It's fine. Nobody's talking that way, right?
How did this happen?
All right. Through
You
the
wanted
glasses, John
chaos.
Wick,
I
here
just
we
gave
go.
you guys a pet. It's fine. That you know you almost killed.
Nice. Well, it ran through my shadow, not my fault.
It would argue with you on that one, but that's a later conversation.
Well, it can argue. I can't understand it.
Yeah, you get very angry squeak noises every time you mention your shadow, by the way.
That seems
It's just
reasonable.
Progressively angry squeaks that do not make any sense to anybody. And so eventually you guys, it comes to the one stop in the line where you know you need to get off. And kind of makes this noise and just like jumps off the chair and goes around Lockie this time.
Can this be the Swallex? Can this thing be the Swallex? Swallex.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
great. And just hops out of the subway car and starts going up. You see, kind of starting to go up the stairs.
I just want to take a minute here to just remind everybody that we're following a not rat on the subway who sat like a person to the town that there's a monster in.
We're not following the rat. We're going to the place that I saw the monster in my visions.
Lockie, are we
Lockie's
following the rat?
I'm following the rat. Just
We're
keeps
following
going.
the rat to the town with the monster in it.
Lockie hops the turnstile on the way out.
Even though you don't need to.
They don't know that.
It's true.
They have learned that this is a thing to be hopped over, and therefore will hop it out.
So
Because
Levi, Kit, and Jules, as you guys kind of, because I'm assuming Lockie's still taking the lead on this, you guys kind of follow up behind, and you see Lockie jump over the turnstile. You've taught this child some bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Lockie, here. Take this card. Use this next time. That's the right way.
Jules is just going to take a moment while we're moving forward and just be like, I think my boss was right. I think that it's good that I started taking half days because I don't think my head's still right. What in the actual fuck is happening?
So if you hand Lockie like a card, Lockie hops the turnstile on the way back over and then tries to figure out where to use the card on the way out. And it's just like, I don't get it.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Well,
this seems much
it out
more
later.
complicated than the whole time. Like, he goes, all right, and then hops turnstile again and leaves.
He just walks through the turnstile.
You guys follow out. Some of you heading towards the Hestian, some of you following Steve. Either way, seems to be heading towards the same direction. As you approach the building, for those who have been here before, Jules, this is going to be new to you. You haven't been here before. This is kind of fairly plain and unassuming, almost like it looks like a warehouse type building more so than anything else. And with a fairly like nondescript entrance, it just has a set of double doors, a guardrail that kind of goes around it. There's a ramp that leads up. Those of you who have been here before know this to be the Hestian. People who need it know where it is and know how to find it. And it's eerily quiet in the area. Normally there's a lot more noise. Normally you see a lot more people kind of going in and out. It's getting closer to dinner time, so it actually would be busy right about now. And it's not. The fact that you don't see anybody as you approach going in is a little weird to, anybody who's been there before. Definitely not Levi.
I've never even heard of this place.
I'm definitely going to say that as we're walking up to this place and as we've been like going off of the subway system, that Jules is just going to kind of hang back with Kit and like occasionally be like, are we going the right way? Is this the right way to go? And just like checking in periodically to make sure that we're like still going where we need to be going, sort of thing. Because that whole thing with Steve has kind of fucked Jules up a little bit. There's a lot that's fucked Jules up a little bit about today. So
today.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about the rat thing. Seems like it's under control.
I'm gonna still worry about the rat thing because I don't really understand what that is. But I have a feeling that we're all gonna have to have a long conversation later on, maybe. So we can worry about that then. For now, that thing that you saw, this is where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna see Jules just slowly kind of reach into a pocket of their motorcycle, their leather jacket. As you guys are continuing to like walk towards the building, you're just gonna see mismatched class rings that Jules is gonna be slipping on to each of their fingers on their right hand, and just
nice.
after they put them on, is just gonna, their arms just gonna be kind of hanging down. They're gonna be walking as usual, but you will clock that as you're starting to approach the building.
Cool rings.
Thanks. They seem to be good and useful for situations like this, so I like to have them literally on hand. I didn't mean for that pun to happen, folks. I'm so sorry.
But
Really?
it did. It's fine. It's fine.
It did, though. It did. And you all saw it. You heard it. You saw it. It happened.
Can't go back. Only
Nope.
forward.
Gotta go forward to get back.
We're here now.
So
Well, good to know you collect rings like that. I might find some in my possession that I could gift to you.
It's so weird.
oh,
Everybody's just so weird. It's fine.
I mean, I'm fine with these, but thanks. I don't, they're really more for like impact protection purposes. I don't usually wear a lot of like not huge honking things like this, but thank you. Thank you.
You'd make more use out of them than the idiots wearing them.
We're going to have a conversation at some point about you and that one, and Jules points to Lockie, about taking things that do not belong to you and assuming that that's okay. But again, that is not what we're here for right now.
I don't take anything. It just ends up in my possession. But we need to find this Jesse. We need to make sure Jesse's okay.
Yeah. Does anyone know what this Jesse person looks like? I mean, you said you saw them. Do you know what they look like or where they would be right now?
I know Jesse. Jesse's usually at the soup pot station.
Jessie is the one who normally runs this place. We're gonna leave that as actually what you said. I'm just gonna give you character information.
This was my Natalie save me gesture.
So we've now established this is the keeper.
Guys, anybody, if you need help at any point in time, this is Natalie save me.
Yes, we've got the X card and the Natalie save me.
Perfect. This is a whole new safety system.
Yeah, maybe it's the U card.
Oh,
I'm passing this off to you.
You for
You do something with this.
It's like my new favorite.
That needs to be a clip right there. Just Levi going, like from
Yes.
goddamn Teletubbies.
Excellent.
It's very good.
So those of you who have ever been to
The soup pot station.
the soup pot station, as it here shall forth be known. Here shall forth. Yeah, exactly. Words. Doing great. I'm catching whatever Keith has. And so Jessie is a taller, sturdy, blonde woman who she looks like she will simultaneously kick your ass but adopt you at the same time.
Oh. Sorry, I wasn't on mute.
Easy, Cora. Zero chill in this stream.
Absolutely none whatsoever. She is definitely just one of those kind of. She's a badass that she doesn't let shit happen here. If people pick fights, if anything kind of goes down, she is that person who is in between and stopping it. She's run this place for a number of years with her husband Matthew, and while he's normally there to help, he also works a full-time job downtown, and so he's been more of a support system for her. While she basically runs this place. And he's kind of like the strong stoic character in the background that kind of is just like, I stand behind this woman also because she'll kill me. So I love her. I fear her. And so
That's kind of love.
it's a beautiful relationship.
Oh, close to my heart.
I know, right?
Same. It's so lovely.
So cute. And so you know her as a take no shit kind of woman. And from your vision, this thing was creeping up on her. Because truth be told, if she saw it, she probably would have tried to kill it.
Creeping. It's creeping up on her.
Thank you, Cora.
Sorry.
This whole walk, Levi has been in the middle. There's Lockie kind of leading the way, and then I assume Jules and Kit are in the back having their whisper session, and then Levi is walking forward between the two of them. And if anyone's paying any attention to them, which he's hoping no one is, it looks like he kind of knows where he's going. But also he's all of a sudden taken way too much care in his personal appearance, as if trying to not look like he belongs here. So he's redoing his, we're about to fight a monster. He's redoing the bun. You can see him fluffing his hair up. He pulled a comb out of somewhere and he's adjusting the beard. He's fixing his clothes to make sure that he doesn't look like he belongs here. Or at least that's why he's doing it in his own head. But he's doing his very best to look his very best in this place.
I'm going to get my ass handed to me, but I'm going to look damn good while it happens.
Yeah. Yes.
If I'm going to get beat up, I'm going to look pretty while it happens.
Yes, I'm the pretty one.
Is there any other way?
I'm the pretty one. Why is that the competition here?
Me and Keith are just going to fight in real life.
This has always been the competition.
We're all the pretty ones.
That's true.
I am the pretty one. I am the one who sparkles.
I'm the most magical one. It's fine.
You're
But
all
my pretty is
fucking
so
pretty.
weird.
I swear to God.
But that's what he's doing. He's taking far too much
Meanwhile,
personal
Lucky
attention.
is following a rat. So if you want to know where I stand in the pretty competition, it's down there.
I feel like that could be said for the monster hunting and also the regular just day-to-day life of Lockie.
True,
What'd
actually.
you do today? I followed a rat for like 6 hours.
Yep.
Why? I don't know.
Because it went
Pretty accurate.
at me.
So Jesse's okay in the soup station.
You guys walk into the area, into the kitchen. The soup station.
Sorry.
Next
But
up on the Toranna Public Transit, the soup station.
The soup pot station.
Soup pot station.
Supot.
Oh, God.
Just gotta say it quick. Supot station.
Soup pot. Then it sounds fancy.
If you say it
Exactly.
fast, it just sounds like the Super Hot Station, which is
Super hot station. Yeah, that's a whole other.
That's where everybody gets off. Sorry.
I love it. That
It's
is
an
now
adult
every
stream
subway
now.
station in the city, okay? Every station is the super hot station. It's perfect.
perfect.
Sorry. It's perfect. I don't care. I love it. As you guys go into this I can't think of anything other than super hot. Anyways, you guys go into the soup kitchen and you notice it is eerily quiet in this place. Like kind of like how it was outside. There is nowhere. You don't see anybody immediately, but you start hearing the clanging of pots and pans like they're falling from the kitchen. And you see your little scuttle buddy just start, that's what he called now. Scuttle buddy Steve. It's fine. He's adorable. Starts boogieing towards the kitchen. I take it you guys are following.
So now what?
Lockie doesn't follow, actually. Lockie takes a left-hand turn around a corner.
Okay.
And if someone were to follow after them, they're not there anymore.
I'm gonna say that would probably be Jules. Jules is gonna you're the one that was following this rat, not rat, Scuttle Buddy Steve thing. Jules has talked with Kit already, so knows that we're supposed to be here because that's where they saw this thing at. So then Jules is going to be redirecting their attention to Lockie, and then upon seeing him go down a corner, is going to be like, "Hey, wait, whoa, where are you going?" And then go down that corner, and then you're just gone.
Where's everyone? Where you going?
Why? What in the actual fuck is happening?
The kitchen's over there.
Where did he go?
I don't know.
Why is everyone else so cavalier about this? Can anyone explain to me, where did he go? Where did that thing come from? What is happening?
Secret underground home with tunnels.
Secret tunnel!
As you guys are trying to figure out where the hell you lost Lockie. Lockie,
Yep.
you went around a corner.
Yep.
And where did you end up?
Lockie ended up in the kitchen. Just
Because you know this place
I know that place.
like the back of your hand.
Yep.
You sneak through, you go into the kitchen and you come across where the source of all the, you guys can all still hear from the main room, clanging and banging of pots and pans. And you see Jessie. And she is backed into this corner against the creature that you've seen from Kit's drawings. That you've seen. And they are just throwing pots and pans at this creature in whatever attempt they have to injure it. But the creature's just slowly making its way closer to them.
Lockie just okay, sneak time over, just stands up and the kitchen's
Kind of rears its head towards you, looking, and yeah. And not that this thing has a mouth really, but if it gives you this almost slight tilting of the head of almost recognition.
Yep, Lockie just the Ben Solo challenge is going on Twitter, just yeah, I know, it's good to see you too. And then just moves into straight up freaking punch it, I guess.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
On Earth, did you take the puppy nod and make it creepy and weird.
All right. It's an 8, so kind of half and halfer.
Okay, so mixed success.
Yep.
So what are you trying? How are you trying to hit this thing?
Lucky's just straight up punching it.
Okay.
Because they can do that.
You go in to just punch this, and you do make contact with it.
Yep.
It is, however, going to also slash away at you.
Of course.
Almost in a sense of trying to get you away, because now there's 2 of you in this room after it. And so it's actually going to, instead of actually doing any damage to you, it's going to knock you back.
Okay.
And instead looks down at Jessie, who is ready to throw another pan. She kind of sees you, locks eyes with you, locks eyes back at the creature. And the creature makes its way out through, you know how in like soup kitchens, they have like those sometimes windows, like the serving windows?
Yep.
Crashes through there to get into the main space. As the other 3 of you have been kind of like, where did Blocky go? I swear to God, he was just here. What the f- is going on here? You see crashing into here the creature.
Fully dang creature. Nice.
The full creature. Kit, you have seen this only in your visions. This is here for real right now. Jules, you haven't seen it in a few months. It's been 2 or 3 months since you last saw this. And Levi, this is your first time seeing this thing, and it is here and it is real.
Yeah, Levi just shouts, right? Because it's a literal monster. It's an actual monster. So he's like, "Oh fuck!" And you just see him put his hands up. And I'm gonna roll to attack this thing.
Okay. How are you attacking?
I'm gonna roll to use magic.
Okay.
Let's instinctively light everything on fire.
Oh, good. That's exactly what I was
I'm gonna roll weird.
Uh-huh.
I think. Did it work? Nope. There's a button. There's an extra button. Boom. With an 11, which I think
Excellent.
that's the best roll, right? That's
more
one
or
of the
less.
best ones?
Yeah, close to.
Cool.
10 and above is what you really want. So
Nailed
what
it.
kind of what does your magic look like? How does this come through?
It's aggressive, angry fire.
Cool.
So I also have an ability called Burn Everything, which is when you use magic to inflict harm, which is what I'm doing. You inflict 3 harm to the area, and it's very obvious. Or you can do it with no armor. So I panic, and I'm inflicting it to the area. So this creature and everything around it takes 3 harm as this. It looks like if you inverted fire. Right, so it's like this like black kind of flame, and it just like with like the red interior just licks up around everything from the ground up, and just singes in like a circle around this thing, and then immediately like dissipates. As he's like, "Oh, did you see that? That's a real monster."
Everything.
Real monsters.
God, I remember that show.
It's a good show. Anyways.
Everything
I will not
erupts
leave.
into fire, including the creature, and the area around you guys is just in flames. It starts licking up the walls. It starts creeping into the kitchen. It's starting to block even your entrance that you use to get in here. You guys, this creature has this deep guttural sound that comes out of it, just almost in pain. It is definitely in pain, but also in a kind of rage, as it just, and it starts running away from especially the one that just lit it on fire.
Just came out of nowhere. I don't even know what happened.
You don't even know where that
It was
came
the
from.
weirdest thing I've ever seen.
You've never done that before in your life. And as it's running, you notice it go towards Levi. You would know this, although you'll never admit to it. And Kit, you'd be aware of this. It's heading down towards the bathroom. Everything started in a bathroom. We're going to end in a bathroom, everybody.
Cool.
This is where this is going.
You have it in Act 1. It's got to pay off in Act 3. Let's do this.
Exactly.
The smoking
Balance, how this
bathroom
works.
door.
And as you guys, does anybody follow it?
Yeah, I wanna try and interfere with it with my jinx.
Okay.
It's interfere with what a monster, minion, or bystander is trying to do. Like it's trying to get to the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna roll for that.
Okay. Well, it's trying to get to the bathroom.
Or I meant bathroom. I said kitchen, but I got an 8. I do have I kind of have a +1 forward, but it wouldn't actually help.
It's all good. So you're using your jinx to kind of get in the way of this, correct?
Yeah, interfere with what it's trying to do.
Okay, cool. So it is going to, you use your jinx and it almost it trips it, actually. So we kind of, does it look like anything when you pull out your jinx?
I think that there's no visual representation of my jinx power, but I concentrate really intensely. Like I'm staring and like maybe wishing that things happened in the particular way, but I think it's very like luck based. Like it's very much like all of a sudden it just stumbles. And there's no geometric symbols or anything in the air about it. It's pretty subtle.
Okay. So it trips it. It doesn't completely stop it, but it kind of almost like slides head first to the bathroom instead with your jinx. So giving you an advantage against it should you decide to do anything. That's kind of your hold one to use against it. But it's still working its way towards there. It's starting to almost crawl towards there. Lockie, have you made your way out yet?
I think Lockie heard Levi shout, and while everyone was distracted by the monster, reappeared behind Levi and was like, where'd it go?
The bathroom.
You acted remarkably calm for someone that just had someone show up right behind them, like, hey, what's going on?
I didn't just shoot fire out of my hands. So I
think he's also getting used to it from Lockie, specifically, only from Lockie.
So Lockie sort of like reappears behind Levi, sees like it sort of start like the last bit of it, I think, is it trips and then sort of takes off after it.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything as it makes its way towards?
I'm just curious if because I can see magic stuff, was I able to tell that Levi was the one who just lit this place on fire?
Oh yeah, completely.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Like that makes everything really line up with what you've seen before with him. And so
I shoot him the most like piercing dagger stare as I pause for a second and then
he just looks back at you dumbly. Like he very much knows what you're looking at him for, and he's like,
congratulations, you just burned down a soup kitchen.
There was a literal monster. Its bones are on the outside. Okay?
This place is burning. Anybody else who wants to try to follow the creature as it's crawling its way, you actually see Steve, your little amoeba buddy, Scuttlebug Steve, make its way like it's almost trying to follow Lockie at this point now. Instead of Lockie following it is following Lockie, which has gone to a weird, strange turn of events. But as you guys, those of you who head towards the bathroom, you see the creature as it's kind of crawling, and it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. But this monster, as you open the door to the bathroom, has its arms in the mirror, as if it's climbing through it, as if it's a portal. And by the time you kind of realize exactly what's happening, it's completely through to the other side. And that's where we're going to end this first episode of Through the Glass.
See what you did there with the glass?
Yeah, you making sense now?
I get it through the glass.
Oh, so many.
She said that
title.
Hey,
well,
that's the name of the show.
That's right. So weird.
Oh, got it.
Well, this was the first episode of the first season of 2020. Through the Glass, our Monster of the Week campaign. This was dope. I am the most magical and the prettiest, and I lit a whole place on fire.
There's definitely no repercussions for that at all.
Definitely none. Don't piss off Jesse. Oh, wait.
We're fine.
Jesse's probably dead. Just throwing that out there. You
I mean,
lit
if we-
everything on fire.
Because what's going to happen is a week's going to go by and we're going to forget and we're going to jump through the glass while the building's on fire. She's very dead. They're very dead. For sure.
So much destruction.
Yeah. This has been the first episode. This was super fun. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone in chat, thank you for all the subs, the donations, all that fun stuff. Thank you for hitting that corruption bar and getting us an amoeba pet named Steve. Weirdest turn of corruption I've ever seen. But that being said, let's go around, do our introductions of the cast and crew, and get the hell out of here. We'll start with our illustrious keeper. Natalie, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Oh God, that's such a good question. Hi, I'm Natalie. I have been your keeper. Thank you very much for joining us on this, what is going to be a ridiculous but also kind of spooky adventure. And I'm so excited to do more with you guys. You can find me on Twitter at Chaotic Rogue. That's where you can find me, everything I'm doing, and what I'm up to. My other stream's on a brief hiatus right now, so this is the main place where you can find me doing stuff. Because I just get jammed. It's wonderful. Otherwise, though, I do work with a group called the Mage College. We are third-party content creators that we create a lot of stuff, mostly around D&D stuff, and we are working on an adventure right now called Gnome Alone, which is Home Alone with, yes, a gnome and artificers, and it's a lot of, like, every ridiculous, stupid trap you can think of. We are working on it, and it is insane and ridiculous, and it's going to be great. Anyway, so working on that and hopefully have that out soon. And that, I think, is literally me right now. Not 20 million things yet.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I know.
That
Still
being
early
said,
in the year.
Right. Literally the earliest. So that being said, let's jump around to our two new faces here. We'll start with Cora. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Cora. You can also find me on Twitter at GlamourBombLive, all capitalized. Aside from working on this, I am also part of the Chords of Fate podcast. What's up, Chords of Fate crew that I saw in the chat? How you doing? We are a D&D 5e live play podcast, and all of our episodes they used to air on Fridays. Now they've been switched to air on Mondays. So give us a listen over there. And if you're interested in anything else that I have coming up, almost all of my stuff gets posted directly to Twitter. So if you're looking for more stuff with me in it, that is where to find me. And that's pretty much it. I'm super excited for this, and this is going to be awesome.
Hell yeah. We'll jump right over to John. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Oh, that's a great question. Not a lot nowadays. So I'm John. You can find me on Twitter at Ryomasa, RY0MASA. And obviously here, and I actually don't stream very much because I'm currently in the last year of grad school doing a master's program for mental health counseling, specifically looking into research in the therapeutic application of tabletop and LARP. So if I am mostly dead to the internet in the times that aren't this stream, it's because I'm on other sections of the internet writing and crying. Pretty much. I also stream a couple every now and then on the Vibrant, Visible, and Victorious channel on Welcome to the Party, which is an all POC stream where I've done both being a player and a GM, and hope to do more of that in the upcoming season. So.
Fantastic. And last but not least, another familiar face here, Keith. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Yeah, Keith, you can find me at Keith R. Potempa, my great name, Potempa, and KeithRPotempa.com. I run a after-school program here in Nashville teaching tabletop role-playing games to kids age 6 to 16, and the younger kids are playing a Powered by the Apocalypse game of our own creation called the Heroes Guild. That teaches positive heroic morality and nonviolent conflict resolution and all that good stuff. So you can check out that and learn more about it at theheroesguild.com.
Fantastic. And if you guys like what you saw here tonight and you want to learn more about these characters, we'll be posting bios, descriptions, all kinds of fun stuff, as well as character sheets over on our Patreon. So I would go check that out. Also, we are launching a podcast. Shh, tell everyone. It'll be coming out mid-February. I don't have a name for it yet, so I can't tell you where to follow us. So go hang out in the Discord, and we will announce it more specifically once I figure out the title of the podcast that I have to release in a month. Don't worry, that's the least important thing. It's D&D, so that's we don't play that often, so go check it out. That's it. That's all I got. So, thanks for watching. This has been super rad. I can't wait to play more of this. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.